Karl Lauterbach, obwohl noch im Bundestag ist, wird einen Nebenjob haben bei der WHO. Also angeblich unbezahlt. Aber da kann schön Propaganda machen. Und das wird machen, weil wird Forschung machen über den Klimawandel und Gesundheit. Yeah. So here we go again with another basic loser, right? Somebody who belongs to a party that lost the election. Somebody who used to be a health minister that told everybody in Germany that the vaccine for COVID had absolutely no side effects and pushed it on little children, who admitted that the 6 feet distancing shit was a load of bullshit, hogwash that they just kind of made up, you know what I'm saying, has never been held accountable for anything during COVID or anything else he's done. And now he gets to go to the WHO and start doing, I guess, research into the climate change and the effects on global health from climate change. Yeah, it's going to get a little hot maybe, all right? So people are going to get a little hot, you know. There's people who live in temperatures that are like 50 degrees, you know, 40 degrees in the shade. They're still doing all right. There's old people there. They're living, you know. It's just going to be more propaganda that Karl Lauterbach gets to write for people. Like, who's going to take anything seriously this guy says? Well, no normal person will anymore in Germany, but maybe on a global stage, especially the leftist maniacs at the WHO, they'll take him seriously because he's a useful idiot for them. I mean, the guy is an idiot. Look, he looks like Jeffrey Dahmer and Forrest Gump fucked and had a kid. That's Karl Lauterbach, right? He's a creepy motherfucker. I'm sorry. He's a creepy looking dude. And now he's going to spend some of the time, you know, he's still in Bundestag. He's at like the chair of aerospace and something or other. I don't know why, you know what I mean? But apparently the SPD likes him enough to keep him around. He's just not going to be on TV as much. But instead of doing that work, which he gets paid for with our tax money, he's now going to spend time going to basically a socialist organization called the WHO, who is what's being led by a dude that used to be a member of a terrorist organization in Ethiopia. You know, that's crazy shit right there. I forgot what this guy's name is, but look him up. He's the head of the WHO. And this is the guy that we're supposed to, take our health cues from, right? And of course, we know that Germany signed the WHO Pandemic Treaty, the new one, which basically will sign over the sovereignty of Germany at the time that the WHO declares some sort of health emergency, climate or otherwise related, right? So that's going to be a dangerous situation. Germany better gear up for that, because if that happens during the term of Friedrich Merz and the WHO decides there's another pandemic or there's climate-related health issues, which is what Karl Lauterbach is going to work on, right? I bet you Karl Lauterbach is going to go there and write a report on how, fossil fuels is making the climate hotter and it's affecting the health of people in Europe as well as people in southern countries. And so therefore, that's an emergency. You know, I can already see them trying to pull this out. And then the WHO gets to say, look, Karl Lauterbach said it's an emergency. It is a global emergency. And Germany's going to need to stop driving cars right now, or some crazy, insane, utopian, dystopian rule or clampdown so that we save the climate in Germany, which of course never is going to happen, right? So that's pretty amazing. Now, the reports say, and I couldn't find any information about him getting paid for this job, but, he doesn't need to get paid for it because it's free propaganda. He gets to be looked at as somebody important, so that counts for him. And he still gets his Bundestag salary as he does this job for some organization that Germany really shouldn't have anything to do with. And the people of Germany don't necessarily want anything to do with, right? So he gets to go and spend our money on his salary, and for the time, he's probably not going to be doing the job he's supposed to be doing here. I think if you're like the chair of the aerospace and nuclear something or other, it sounds pretty important. And he's getting paid like 16 grand a month for it. So I would rather him just not go fucking write propaganda for the WHO and stay here and do his job. Just stay away from me and stay away from the television. He's got no influence about any policy. And see, if you let this guy go to the WHO and start writing about how the climate affects health You know what I'm saying? Which is going to be a whole bunch of propaganda nonsense. Okay? I can't imagine, you know what I mean? How many people these days are suffering health-wise from any sort of climate change, except for the people that already live in really hot countries that are not currently being changed a lot by climate change, okay? And even if they are, right, even if they are, unless the whole world works together at the same time, there is going to be no stopping the climate change. If the cause of climate change is CO2, which we also don't know for sure, it might have an influence, it might not. What's going to happen in 100 years is all based on computer models, so it's basically guesswork, tea leaf reading. So, but let's assume they're right about everything. Even if the CO2 is the problem, the people are the problem, innovation is the problem, industrial countries are the problem, unless the US and China and India also start clamping down on their citizens as far as the use of CO2 goes, there's going to be no changing this problem. I think if there is a climate change problem, the human race will solve it through innovation and inventing, right? I think that's where it's going to go. We're almost there, right? All we need is, we've already solved the problem. We have nuclear power. Oh, that's right. The climate change cultists don't want nuclear power for whatever reason, because it solves the problem, and then they'll be out of business. That's why, right? That's why. So we already have a solution now, but okay, the solution they want is solar power and wind, which might be a viable solution if we ever design a battery that'll be able to store the power that is generated by these technologies. If we can do that, and it's good enough, and it can power enough, then that'll be a good solution. Amazing. But it's not there yet, right? And so I don't really care about Karl Lauterbach's opinion about how the climate change is affecting people's health, because we can't do anything to stop it until we get the technology to do so. Or get our heads out of our asses, stop this propaganda fear-mongering, and start using nuclear power everywhere. I think that's probably a good solution, since it's CO2 free and all. And CO2 seems to be the problem we're all, facing. And if they solve the CO2 problem with nuclear power, they wouldn't be able to tax us more for CO2 use, right? They wouldn't be able to make the gas so expensive and heating your home so expensive, right? They wouldn't be able to do that anymore. See, it's a racket. It's a racket. And Karl Lauterbach is going to be part of this next propaganda racket, just like he was a major part of the COVID racket, right? The propaganda around COVID was spread by Karl Lauterbach and his people and the people in Bundestag at the time, and it still has never been investigated. These people have still, Karl Lauterbach probably should be in jail, right? I don't know for sure because, I'm not a prosecutor in Germany, but I would imagine if there was an investigation on Karl Lauterbach and all he has done during COVID, I'm sure they would find something that is not correct and that he should be reprimanded for at the very least. Instead, he gets to keep his cushy job, getting good salary, in some obscure department in Bundestag. Even though his party lost the election, he's still in power. And he gets to do like a side gig at the WHO, which they say he's doing for free. I'm not sure about that. I don't know about that. Maybe he doesn't get a salary. Maybe he gets a one-time payment. I don't know, But I can imagine him doing it for free because, again, he doesn't need the money because he can take time off his job that he gets paid for by our tax dollars and go do a job for the WHO. Isn't that great? Isn't it great how the people who are the biggest losers always get the coolest gigs, right? They get the best gigs. They're like, okay, well, I need some, I need an extra job. I need to be able to sit around and still collect 16 grand. Come on, guys. I know we lost the election and our party is hated, basically Germany-wide with 16%. And I know that Friedrich Merz was, allowed us back into power by bending over and giving us everything. But, I don't really want to leave this salary. I know that I did a pretty bad job as health minister. I know I lied a lot. I know there's a lot of scrutiny on me. But go ahead and give me a job anyway, guys, please. So he gets another job. Now he's the head of aerospace or some shit. What gives this guy... Where are these people's credentials coming from? So, you're a health minister, and he's supposed to be a doctor. So what the fuck does he know about aerospace? Right? What does he know about aerospace? Anything? Does he have an aerospace degree? I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. But that's always the thing, right? We get to vote on these people. I don't even get to vote because I'm not German, but people in Germany get to vote on these people by party, right? So they vote for a party, of which there might be one good person, and they got 300 people that are total shit, right? And then the party gets to decide if they get power. They get to decide where these morons get their places at, right? So we had Annalena Baerbock as fucking foreign minister. The bitch can't even speak English. She can barely speak fucking German, right? She's a total airhead. Totally. She is dumb as a box of fucking rocks, and then they make her the fucking foreign minister. You know what I mean? They just go, okay, what's experience in foreign affairs and English. Fuck that. English is overrated, guys, when you're dealing with foreign countries. Let's just let this dumb bitch be the fucking thing. That's all right. And let's put Robert Habeck, right? The most moronic fucking dude I've ever seen. You know what I'm saying? The guy is a total dipshit, right? A total moron. He's good at writing children's books and talking shit, right? And lying. But he's the finance minister. Oh, let's make him the finance minister. The economic minister, my bad. So the minister of the economy. Oh yeah, he did a great job, right? The economy's on its ass here in Germany, people. And it's just getting worse. And then Karl Lauterbach, he gets to go fucking keep a job in the Bundestag for the good money. And he didn't even have to do that job. He has time to go to the WHO and talk about shit like the health problems from climate change. Fuck these people. These people are ridiculous. They're ridiculous. It's like a comedy show, right? Or clown show comedy show, because they're so ridiculous. It's just, you can't do anything except laugh at this shit anymore. You can't take these people seriously. These are not serious people. These people are morons, right? These are the people that got bullied at school all their lives, right? They don't have their pants on at their house. Their wife runs their lives, or their mom still runs their lives. And I can imagine Karl Lauterbach like living in his mom's basement and shit, with a big well in it and a basket with a woman at the bottom of the well. But put some lotion in the basket. You know what I'm saying? That's Karl Lauterbach to me. You know what I'm saying? And these people are utter failures, right? Utter failures. And yet they are magically put in positions that they get to tell the rest of us how to live. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? That's just craziness. So there you go, Germany. This is what voting does, right? Voting has consequences, people. It is time to vote for the AfD, where there are reasonable, functional, smart people who have been in the real world, who have worked in the real world, actually have experience in the things that they would be doing in minister jobs if they got into government. Unlike Annalena Baerbock and Robert Habeck and fucking Karl Lauterbach and the gang, right? They would have experience, right? It's time to stop this bullshit about, they're right wing and we're Germany, we can't have anything on the right in Germany. No, it's over, right? The war is over. Hitler's fucking dead. None of you people had anything to do with that shit. Get over it, okay? Get the fuck over it. Or you guys are going to vote us into fucking total insanity. It's almost already at the limit of crazy in this country, okay? Let's be real. And look at what's going on. It's utterly amazing. And now we got Karl Lauterbach moving to the WHO. Congratulations, Karl. You failed good enough that you get to do 2 jobs now and continue to get paid by German taxpayer money, which includes mine. I would fire Karl Lauterbach, right? I would not pay this dude to clean my fucking toilet. Okay? So, basically, against my will, Karl Lauterbach is getting some of my money for being one of the worst health ministers Germany's ever seen, and now going to spread propaganda about climate change because he's a useful idiot for them. Unreal. God, these people are ridiculous. It really is starting to turn into like the Hunger Games, where these people are like the capital, and we're the people living in these fucking units. It's unreal. Come on. I thought it was a joke when I heard it, but it's not. It's real. Just like Annalena gets to go to the UN now. You know what I'm saying? And be the boss at the UN. Can't speak a fucking word of English. Her English is worse than my German, which is bad. You know what I mean? God damn it. So enjoy that thought today, people. Have fun with it. We'll catch you guys tomorrow on the next Insanity Report. Today it is Wednesday. No, it's not. It's Thursday, the 12th of June, 2025. It's now 2:30 p.m. here in Germany. And this was the Insanity Report for today. Guys, remember to like, subscribe, retweet, repost, do all the things. All the things will help my content get out to other people. I greatly appreciate that. All right, people, have a good one. Catch you later.